Hello friends. Today's story is about Jenna, a 22-year-old student who is very conscious of her body image. Her aunt stresses that she should eat 6 meals a day to speed up her metabolism, whereas her friend eats only 3 meals and is very fit. Her theory is that unnecessary snacking adds just extra kilojoules and should be avoided. What does science have to say about all of it? Besides composition of the meal, is timing and frequency of meals important? Let's divide this complex topic into 3 basic questions. Number 1, what happens after we eat? The body enters what we call as the fed state. It usually lasts roughly for about 3 hours. However, its duration depends upon the composition and the volume of the meal. During this time, carbohydrates are broken down, our blood glucose starts rising, and the hormone insulin is released in the body to use this glucose by the tissues and store any excess. Question number 2. Does eating more often causes more energy expenditure? Well, when we eat food, our body does use more energy to process it. The process of digestion, absorption, and assimilation of nutrients causes the cells to work hard and therefore uses energy. In fact, after eating, the metabolic rate increases by about 10%. This is called the thermic effect. And that's why it was postulated that eating 6 meals or more a day may cause our metabolic rate to increase and therefore may help to burn more energy and potentially lose weight. However, this is not entirely true. This is because the increase in the metabolic rate depends upon the size of the meal. Smaller meal causes less hike in our metabolism. And number 2, it also depends upon the composition of the meal. Proteins cause the highest increase in our metabolic rate, followed by carbohydrates, and the fat cause the least hike. Therefore, snacking and poor choice meals, eating more carbohydrates or fats, may actually do more harm than benefit. Number 3, meal frequency and timing are important. Although adequate large human studies on this subject are lacking, but 3 large prospective studies have demonstrated that frequent eating and snacking lead to more weight gain and increased risk of. There is enough research demonstrating that consuming higher proportion of calories earlier during the day has positive physiologic effects. Furthermore, data clearly demonstrates that increasing overnight fasting beyond 12 hours or introduction of occasional fasting periods in otherwise healthy individuals may have positive overall physiologic effects. Therefore, let's reconcile the findings from research so far. Now, before I present these tips, I must mention that these pertain to average healthy adults. If you're not an adult, or if a person has other physiologic conditions such as pregnancy or pathologic condition or disease states, meal frequency and timing will need to be altered. But for average healthy adults, following tips may help to improve cardiovascular health, reduce weight gain, and reduce the risk of obesity. Number 1, eat breakfast. Higher proportion of calories should be consumed earlier in the day. Number 2, increase protein content of your meals and avoid sugary beverages or high carbohydrate or fat content. Number 3, eat 2 to 3 meals during the day. The last meal of the day should ideally be consumed between 4 to 5 p.m. Avoid late night meals. The overnight fasting should be at least for 12 to 16 hours. Research shows that these tips lead to reduced inflammation in the body, increased insulin sensitivity, reduces hunger, and improves cholesterol. Finally, meal timing and frequency are equally important as meal composition in reducing disease and achieving optimal health. Final words of wisdom. Eat like a king in the morning, like a prince at noon, and as a peasant at dinner. Thank you very much for listening. Stay safe and keep smiling.